All right. We got it on TikTok and we got it on YouTube. So hopefully this shit works. Saddening TikTok was going down. It's my first time live streaming on Tuesdays. I live stream on YouTube every single Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'm on YouTube right now. And I said, let me try to jump on to TikTok also. Appreciate y'all, man. Goat, what's happening? Diz, what's up, man? I got double vision going on. I got uh YouTube live going. I got TikTok live going. About to see how this thing works out, man. Um, I don't really got much, man. I just wanted to jump on and test this out, see if we could get it rolling. So, what's happening TikTok? What's happening YouTube? What you got going on, Diz? See, you been posting the content too, man. Goat Pro Gloves, what's happening, man? I appreciate you. Let me see. All right. You guys already know how it goes, man. If you got questions, throw it out. But I live stream every Tuesday on YouTube, so I decided to jump on TikTok. So if TikTok, you guys got questions, throw it in the chat there, or on YouTube, throw it in the chat. Getting ready for the next show, Diz. Hey, Diz, when's the next show going down? Threaded headwear checking in. What's happening? Cherry blossom hats in full effect. This is crazy. I'm trying to focus on both cameras and see how everything's going, but it is what it is. Let me see. Community out here on the East Coast. G6 Customs back on the East Coast, man. What's happening? December 13th and 14th. Oh, yeah, there you go. I'm going to be opening up the store the Saturday after Thanksgiving. I think that's what, the 29th or something like that. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of new drops for that. So that's what I'm stacking up on right now. Calais, what's going down, man? 424 graphics, what's happening? We got TikTok going on. We got YouTube on this side. What brand are you wearing right now? This is an AS Color Classic t-shirt. Side seam, meaning there's a seam down the side. But this is an AS Color Classic t-shirt, an extra large. Let me see, what brand are you? Oh, in-store Black Friday. Nah, I'm not going to be doing in-store Black Friday. For myself, in the past, I've noticed that the weekend is always good. Saturday, I think last year we opened Saturday and Sunday. This year, I think we're just gonna open up Saturday only. So we'll see how it works out. Usually, Black Friday, people, I don't know about out in New York, but here in LA, people don't go crazy for the Black Friday stuff as much anymore. I know it's a crazy weekend for shopping, so we're gonna open up the store that Saturday. Hopefully, get it going. Oh, everything's good, Clay. I'll be back in Hawaii with the family in March, early March. So we'll try to connect that time, man. But I'll be back. Let me see. Came out to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the formation United States Marine Corps. Hell yeah, that's right. Happy Veterans Day to everybody. That's what I'm talking about. G6. Thanks, man. I like it. Yeah. For me, AS Color Classic t-shirts is like the easiest, like hands down for myself, a easy call when it comes to just wearability for a t-shirt. Does everything I need it to, fits good, very soft cotton, washes well. Like I said, this is extra large. It doesn't shrink much. I got wash test results on my YouTube channel if you haven't seen it, of the AS Color t-shirt. But to me, this is like one of my favorite t-shirts to wear. So yeah, like I think wholesale these things go for like $8 or something like that, maybe $7, $8. Let me see. Anyone selling embroidery machines, top-notch threads wants to know. I don't know if anybody on TikTok is selling embroidery machines. You guys already know I use a Racoma MT1501. That's been my workhorse for like the last 5 years or so. That thing is crazy dope. And we've been putting it like during this Dodger postseason, World Series, all that. The machine hasn't stopped running. We've been doing all kind of stuff. My own hats, the homies' hats. It's just been nonstop. It's also been doing a bunch of patches. I haven't been doing them, but the guys that work in my shop, they've been running the patches on there. We've been doing all kind of shit actually. So the machine's been putting in work. So if you're looking into an embroidery machine, like the homie Jerry Mendez is looking into a embroidery machine, he's gonna come through and check it out too. So Racoma Nice. I be seeing like Buy and Smart Stitch. I just sold my older model Happy Japan. Um, I've seen those. I've seen videos of both of those machines. I'm not hands on with them, so I can't say good or bad things about the Buy machine. I think that's how you say it, BAI, or the Smart Stitch. I know nothing about those, but for myself, I have been hands on with the Racoma, and the Racoma to me has done everything I needed it to. There might be people that want more out of their machine, but for me, just doing hats, easy call. Mr. Smooth, what's happening, man? What's happening? Um, yeah, I have no real complaints about the Racoma, man. It's been working perfectly fine for myself. 1,000 people on the TikTok live. Hell yeah. I can't even see the numbers, man, but it's dope. Appreciate everybody for jumping on, man. I'm trying to do both. I got the camera set up on top of the computer right now. Golf game is going all right. I messed up my ribs though. So I haven't been out to the range. I know the videos seem like I'm posting all the time, but I had messed up my ribs golfing. It was called rib fascia, something like that, where like the cartilage around the rib, something had happened. So I've been out for like the last 3 weeks. I traveled. I've been doing all kind of stuff, but I haven't been able to get to the range. But I'm gonna try tomorrow because I'm starting to feel a little bit better. Mobility's back, so get back out there. That also hindered me from hitting like the par three with my son. When I went out to Vegas, I didn't get a chance to hit the range or hit the courses with any of the homies out there. So hopefully getting back into the swing of things. And it's gonna start raining in LA, I think on Friday. So that's gonna mess things up also. Let me see. If the release is hard to pop up on the manual press, is the pressure too tight or should it be easy to release? Just got a Heat Press Nation HPN. All right, so I'm guessing you don't have auto open. So if it's hard to pull up on, the pressure is like really, really clamped down. I would back it off a little bit, make it a little bit easier for yourself. What's happening, Gabby? I believe this is Gabby that used to work with Liana, I think. What's happening? Um, so for the HPN, I would say if you just backed it off like a half turn or maybe a quarter turn and then try that, put a t-shirt down, obviously, crank it down. And then if it's still hard to release, do a quarter turn again. So the more you do that, the more you'll kind of dial in what the sweet spot is for heavy pressure and stuff like that. Let me see. Customs, what's happening? The MT-2002 for sale, been garage for 2 years. Bets 58. Somebody on TikTok was looking for somebody selling a embroidery machine. If you're on TikTok, I would go and hit up. I'm trying to scroll back up. Oh, top notch threads. I got two different lives going on, so I'm trying to look at both chats at the same exact time. Man, I got the one, the homie B on here. What's happening, man? Got you, Clay. See, I hit you up after this. I'll hit you up on Instagram. Yeah, I heard. Okay, thanks. Champs, what's happening? Yeah, I'm trying to read both of these. It's crazy, man. But for those that aren't aware, I guess for the TikTok people, like this is brand new on TikTok, but I live stream every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we'll keep doing this all the time. You know what I mean? Converted a printer into a sublimation one, and I got a press thanks to you. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think that says Allison, get that money. Humble hustler, what's happening? Especially with those converted printers, those things are easy moneymaker. I used to do it all the time. I converted printers from regular Epson printers to DTF printers, sublimation printers, stuff like that. So it's kind of an easy way to do it, man. and you did it all without getting a loan. That's what I'm talking about. So you're not in the hole. Now it's just straight to the profits, man. Let me see. Creative director, what's happening? Fat Heck, what's going down? What's good, Brando? What's good, Chat? Cuts by K, what's happening? How much estimate, guys, for the DTF printers? Like, how much do DTF printers cost? Those things go from like a commercial size one. I think it's like 15 to 20 grand, something like that. That's my guess. Um, there's so many different companies out there now that have a bunch of different printers. Some printers are like very proprietary in the stuff that they use. Some printers are just commercial size printers where you can put any inks, any films through there, and it'll work. So it just all depends. Um, but when you're getting into the DTF printer space, you got to kind of ask yourself, like, Michael, what's happening, man? What you're getting it for? Are you getting it so you could print transfers for other people, or are you getting it so you could print for yourself? Um, Trying to do both is doable, but at the same exact time, that those machines take it's a lot of maintenance to keep those machines going. So understanding what you're getting the machine for is probably your biggest hurdle and question before you get into it. Where I get iron-on patches with custom logos on it for hats. There's places like, I think Transfer Express or Stalls, they offer patches. Deco Press offers patches. You could always just Google search custom patches, custom iron-on patches, and those will pop up. You could find local people like, if you ever cruised Etsy and look for custom patches, there's patch makers on there. And then you could buy outside of Etsy, hit them up, and then see if you could, work something out. So I would probably start there. But like I said, there's places like Transfer Express, Stalls, Deco Press that make patches for garments, hats, t-shirts, whatever you wanted to do. Um, and you just send them your design, they put on a patch, and you're good to go. One thing I would recommend though is if you're doing like full embroidered patches, learn patchmaker terminology, because that's crazy thing is patchmaker terminology is way different than printer terminology, meaning the patchmaker is going to ask you, do you want it to be 50%, 75%, 100%? If that doesn't make any sense to you right now, learn that. So then that way you could tell them exactly what you want. Same thing goes with like your edges. How do you want the edges? Like when I started getting patches done, I'd be like, I want the border to look like this. They don't say border on anything. You know what I mean? So you have to learn how you want the patches to look, what everything's called. So then that way you get exactly what you're paying for. Let me see. Have you ever used brick vinyl? I have used brick vinyl. I only did it on like some crew neck sweaters and sweat shorts. I've never did it on anything else. That was the only thing I kind of felt it looked good on. So that's what I went with it. What square footage you recommend for a shop and rent price you think is good? I'm thinking of opening up a small storefront. It all depends. Momo's Cafe, it all depends on how much space you need. Is the space going to be for production? Is the space going to be just for storage? Is the space going to be a retail space? It all depends on what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? Is there going to be offices? Is there a kitchenette in there? Is there a restroom in there? That adds to the square footage also. Um, is it going to be zoned as retail, or is it going to be zoned as manufacturing? These things are things that you kind of have to look into or answer the questions yourself on what you're trying to do. Um, so I can't like recommend and say, get something that's 2,000 square feet, because I don't know what you're putting in there. I don't know what's going on. Is it going to be more retail, or is it going to be more production? Is it going to be more office space? Are you doing other things outside of there? All of that going to be on you. So you're looking for retail space. I think you're in Northern California. So here in Los Angeles, retail spaces have a different, they come with different fees than say a creative space or office space or R&D space. Manufacturing is zoned as something totally different also, so that comes with extra fees also. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these places. There might be extra, like they might say it's going to cost like X amount of dollars per square foot, But then what you're going to look at, and it's not going to, like, the math won't be mathing because you're going to be like, yo, what's these extra fees? It's because when something's zoned as retail, it comes with these extra fees on top of your monthly. So be careful when you're looking at stuff like that. Let me see. LRBK Photography was happening. Been watching you since day one, brother. Learned so much. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for jumping on. Thank you for joining the live. Been watching you for a few years now. I learned a lot from you. Humble hustler. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for all the love, and I appreciate really the kind words, man. It's dope to see that people have been rocking with me for a while, but it also makes me know that there's people starting businesses off of this information and getting that money. That's what it's all about. Let me see. Suggest for someone like me starting out. It's hard to say what, like, I don't know what your budget is. I don't even know what you're trying to do with the printer. You know what I mean? You have to ask yourself, like, what you're trying to get into with the printer. So then that way, getting into DTF, it looks cool on videos, right? You're like, oh man, it's so easy. I could do this, blah, blah, blah. If the idea is to sell t-shirts, you won't be selling any t-shirts. You're going to be selling prints all day long. That's one of the reasons why I got rid of my DTF printers, because I didn't want to be a slave to my machine. I wanted to sell t-shirts. I didn't want to just sell transfers. So I got rid of that stuff so I could sell t-shirts. Those printers are very time consuming because you have to baby them. Like I said, it requires a ton of maintenance to keep those things rolling. So you will be hands on with that machine all day long. Um, so if the goal is to sell t-shirts, I would say outsource the transfers, order transfers from somewhere else, and you sell the t-shirts. Um, your YouTube videos have helped so much over the years. 6 gears to 180. I appreciate that, man. Let me see. I'm trying to read both chats at the same exact time to answer these questions, man. Let me see. I ordered from Ninja a couple days ago. Have you used them before? I've never ordered from Ninja, so I don't know any good or bad things. I see their ads like everybody else. When it comes to transfers, I like using super color transfers. I really love using screen printed transfers. So that's why I use like super color wearable for majority of my stuff. Um, Quick turnaround, most durable transfer on the market, in my opinion. Extremely good quality and a very consistent transfer. How you feel about Ultra Color Max? I've tested out Ultra Color Max. I think it's cool, but I also don't know the technology behind it. So when it comes to like DTF prints and stuff that comes off of a roll, to me, it's all kind of the same. I know there's differences in inks and films and adhesive powders and stuff like that. But for the most part, I think the prints are all fairly the same. I think it comes down to like production time, like how to apply the stuff. Is it a hot peel, cold peel, warm peel? What's the settings like? That kind of stuff plays into, how the transfer is going to work for yourself. For myself, like I said, I use super color wearable transfers. Why do I use that? It's a screen printed transfer. To me, I like that way better than 100% digital prints like DTF and stuff like that. I've always used Plastisol transfers, which is a traditional screen printed transfer. And then I use things like super color wearable because of the durability, the feel, um, the consistency. For me, it just makes sense. Um, 2.2K on TikTok. That's wild. I appreciate that, man. It's dope, man. Do you recommend the Roland BN20 to start making t-shirts and decals? You got to ask yourself, are you planning on doing t-shirts or planning on doing decals? Because swapping out those rolls every time you need to run a job, it does slow down production, depending on how much you're doing. You know what I mean? I would recommend those Roland printers for stickers only. If it comes to like doing t-shirts and stuff like that, I'd use something like a transfer instead of that. Super over Goof Proof. Those are two totally different transfers. Like Goof Proof would be dope for like single color jobs, probably be cheaper also. But you're also going based on feel, you're going based on transfer size, you're going based on colors in your design. So you would have to like weigh those things out when you're ordering. There's no like, when it comes to like ordering transfers, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, I only use this company only. You could use whatever company you want to, right? as the business owner, you have all these companies as options. So you could be like, all right, I'm going to use this company for this type of transfer. I'm going to use this company for these types of jobs. I'm printing for somebody else and they want this feel. I'm going to go with this company. You don't have to just like stick to one company. You could use all of these and keep a list of them. And then that way, when certain jobs come up or certain things come up, you could be like, all right, I know I could get it from here. These guys have quick turnaround time. These guys have a longer turnaround time, but they have a better feel of a transfer. All of that is on you, how you want to do it. You know what I mean? Let me see. What's your opinion on designing with Kittle? I've never used Kittle. I use Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator. That's it. No Kittle, no Canva, no anything else. I'm old school. I'll draw it first, like idea to my phone. I put it in the notes app, as much description as possible. When I sit down, I get a pencil. I have a ton of these little mechanical pencils right here. I'll draw stuff out. Then I'll take a picture of it and I'll put it into Photoshop, and then I'll open it, clean it all up. Gabriel checking in. What's happening, Gabriel? Tuning in, man. Share the live with all your friends, Gabriel. So after I like put it into Photoshop, I'll clean it up with the pen tool in Photoshop. And once I clean it all up, then it's ready for transfers. I'll color it, change the colors, size it, do everything I have to. But that's usually how it goes down. So I don't use too many other like apps for designing. I'm old school. I draw it out, put it in Photoshop, clean it up, good to go. What's the best heat press to get for a beginner? I always say buy within your budget. So if you're just getting started, figure out what your budget is. Don't go broke trying to get rich. So don't say, all right, I need the biggest, baddest press, the most expensive press because I only want to buy a press once. That's not how it works. Buy whatever fits your budget now because you could always upgrade later. Make some money with the press that you have now, buy a press that's built for higher production after that, and then keep going. A lot of times you could go on like OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, all these places because people think like that and say, all right, I need to buy the best thing possible on the market. They buy these expensive presses. 6 months from now, they find out that they don't like pressing t-shirts. So they put that press onto OfferUp because they spent all this money on it. They didn't even like it. Not because it was bad press, but because their business, it didn't make sense to them. So always buy within your budget. That's probably the best advice I could give you. If you went to heatpressnation.com and looked at all the different presses, all of those fit your budget. There's some that start at like, I don't know, 250 or something like that. I can't remember the last time I looked at their site for presses, but it'll go all the way up from like 250 to like $3,000. There's something in there for everybody. Just find what fits your budget and get to the money. That's all you got to do. Let me see. Where do you go for inspiration to creating designs for your brand? I just use whatever's around locally to me. I'll see stuff and be like, I can make money there. Let me try to create something there. If my phone wasn't on TikTok Live right now, I'd show you my list. I just created a whole new thing in my notes app of t-shirts, designs that I want to make. I just did last night. And there's probably like 18 different ideas in there to start knocking out. Creative server, creatives ever. I think that's your name. Tips on YouTube help me tons. I appreciate that. Thanks for watching. I live stream every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You catch me here on YouTube or here on TikTok. I'm going to be doing both. I'm trying to scroll back so I can read some of these things through. How you doing, man? I notice you create a lot of text-based designs. You think you'll ever do more images on your shirts? My customers don't really like images, so I only offer what my customer base likes. I've ran, like if you went back and looked at Leftovers, that was a brand I started back in 2017 for YouTube. Those were all image-based. Every design on there, the Ricky's Killer, Coogee sweater, the Cheech and Chong one, all of those were heavily image based, but they had a core audience for those. Now for my retail store, the people that shop with me, anytime that I do image based stuff, it doesn't do too good. So I only offer what the people want. So I'm not going to try to be like, oh, let me change your mind and do these image based designs for you. If text based designs are selling, I'm going to keep selling that. A lot of times the image-based stuff gets too cartoony, and you have to understand your audience. You got to know who's buying from you and what they're into. If they're not buying any of those images, it doesn't make sense to keep creating those types of images if nobody's buying them. You know what I mean? You just got to feed the people exactly what they're looking for. And for myself, I'll test things out. I might think it's dope, put it out to the market, and the market tells you otherwise. That's how I roll. I want to make sure that I'm only offering things that people want to buy. So then that way it makes the sale easier on myself, if that makes any sense. Who got the best heat transfers? I like Supercolor. You could go to supercolor.com and check out all the stuff they offer. They offer DTF. They offer stuff for polyester. They offer stuff for nylon. The one I like to use is called Wearable, Supercolor Wearable, and that's a screen printed transfer. Probably one of the most durable transfers I've ever tried, ever used. For the last 5 years, I've been running all of my brands. Everything in my retail store is done with Supercolor. Um, I made myself watch one of your videos every day if I wasn't making money or producing something. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Engaged. Um, how should I be doing rollouts? Utilize social media like a motherfucker, man. I would be pumping stuff out on social media, not just product images, but I pump out the story behind the products. I pump out, everything that goes into running the brand, the business, the thought process. I'd really be selling the brand on social media like crazy, because that to me is where your following lives, and that's how you're going to get discovered. So I would really heavily use social media like crazy. And then I just pick one that you feel comfortable using, post all the time, and then start incorporating the other ones into it too. Let me see. Where do you get your shirts? I use AS Color t-shirts. I get them directly from AS Color. That's what I'm wearing right here. This is the AS Color Classic t-shirt. What printer do you recommend? Go through Supercolor. I don't recommend buying a printer at all. To me, it's a big investment, and it's hard to get your money back if you're not equipped for that type of business. Like if you're getting into the business to sell transfers and transfers only, cool. If you're trying to buy a printer because you want to sell t-shirts, don't do that. Don't do that. Just buy the transfer from somebody else that already owns the printer and just start selling t-shirts. Way easier to do it that way. Um, Let me see. How are you today, dude? Hope all is well. Enjoy these lives. Rich, I appreciate you for jumping on. I'm doing good, man. Doing good. I tell everyone to watch your videos. You helped me a lot, man. Yeah, I appreciate that, Momo's Cafe, 1000%. Rich said, you helped me start. All I had was a heat press, and I'm not where I want to be, of course, but you for sure showed me how to print my shirts. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But at the same exact time, man, when it comes to this business, you guys all know this, but you only get what you put in, right? There's times where I go hard on social media, where I'm like really in it, like engaging with people, and I'm in it. That's when I'm selling the most. Anytime I take a break from that and I'm not putting in that work, I'm not selling much. You know what I mean? And there's nobody to blame but myself. But at the same exact time, I kind of find that balance of, all right, if I just need to sell, 24 to 30 t-shirts a day, then I'm cool. Some days, if it's like down to like 18 to 15 t-shirts a day, it's not that I'm doing bad. It's just I know I'm not doing what I should be doing. You know what I mean? Uh, got everything to start. Got my first order, just waiting for my press. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Flawless. Get that money, man. Flawless polishing. I think your little icon looks like you're shining up some rims. That's dope as hell, man. Let me see. Could you do a video on how you vlog or do content and what cameras you use? Yeah, I got a bunch of videos like that already. If you ever watched any of my shop life videos on YouTube, has everything laid out on there. But I just use a DJI Osmo, the little pocket camera. It's like this big and has a gimbal on the top. That's all I use. And microphones, like the DJI microphone works perfect. For these videos, I'm using this little Rode mic for my phone. This microphone's plugged into my phone. And then this other little Amazon microphone, I don't even know who makes this one, is plugged into here. So that's how you're getting the audio off of that. Um, Let me see. Could you? Oh, I think I already read them. My goals to sell T-shirts. What is the best hoodie and crew neck that you would suggest? AS Color, man. AS Color Relax. To me, that's the hoodies that I'm using this season. That's the hoodies I used at the end of last season. To me, softest touch, best color offerings, best turnaround time, and the stock is always up to date. So I've never had an issue getting black. Like, I don't know if you ever bought hoodies, but during this time, black hoodies sell out like crazy and it's scarce to get. No issues. If you're looking for that pigment dyed stuff, they have that there too, like that faded vintage look. If you're looking for like crazy colors, they got them. AS Color Relax to me is the dopest hoodie out. Hoodies and crew necks. It's also worth mentioning Independence Dope. They have so many different options though. You would have to try a bunch of them out. Um, I like the Main Street, and I think it was called the Avenue. Those two models are dope. Color offerings weren't crazy, but they had some dope stuff. Goonie Tribe, Western and Sepulveda here. Hell yeah, I've been following you since 2018. God bless you. Shout out to Western and Sepulveda, man. It's all kind of shit right there. There's like Western and Sepulveda got there's a Starbucks and a Jersey Mike's in that little shopping center right there. There's a tattoo shop across the street. There's tattoo shops all over right there, even by the El Pollo Loco. Uh, Shout out to Western and Sepulveda, man. Uh, where can I get sick prints? I create all my own designs. You would have to hire like a graphic designer to help bring your ideas to life. But I make all my own designs. I send them off to Supercolor. They print them, and then we get it going. I'm gonna try Super Next. Just starting again. Thank you, Brando. Yeah, not a problem, man. Get some samples, test them out, see if you like them. If you do, cool. If you don't, by all means, it's all good, man. Have you hosted a meetup? Not during one of the trade shows. You up for coming up to the Valley on a Sunday afternoon? Hell yeah, I am. Hell yeah, I am. Very much interested in doing meetups. Very much interested in still working with you, Michael. 1000%. Things just got busy for myself. So we'll try to find some time. Who can print them? I use Supercolor. Supercolor is the one that prints all my transfers for me. Let me see. When's the next show at Alondra? Oh man, shows at Alondra only go down in July. That's the only event that park hosts is the whole Aulea, the Hawaiian festival that I always do. But the next trade show coming up is in Long Beach in January. What is the average price a company is pricing you for making your t-shirts for you? When you're talking about like blank t-shirts, it all depends. It could be anywhere from like $3 up to like $15. It depends on the cotton you're using, the cut, the sew, the everything, like color offerings, all that stuff play a big role in what the price is going to be like. So like I said, a lot of these companies are competitive, so they could be anywhere from like $3 up to $15, $18. Just all depends. That's if you're just talking about blank t-shirts. Sold the Roland and been using Fire Sprint for my outsource and been working out great. Free next day shipping at $49. You talking about stickers? Customs? Have you ever used embroidered patches on hats? Any recommendations? Yeah, I have. I outsourced mine to China when I was doing it because the patches came out to like 50 cents or no, I think it was like 30 cents a patch. But then again, this is probably like 10 years ago when I did it last. But if you just Google search custom patches, there's a bunch of sites that pop up. Majority of those outsource overseas. So it's cool. Go for it if you wanted to do it. What workbench do you use? I use the ones that are at Home Depot, Lowe's, Costco, Sam's Club. They're adjustable workbenches. They're 6 foot by 2 foot. But those things are heavy duty. They hold up 3 of my heat presses. Those are the ones that I've been using, or the ones that you see in my videos. Those are from Sam's Club and Costco and all that. I buy the adjustable ones because I like the table to be a little bit higher when I'm folding shirts, and I need the table to be a little lower when I'm pressing shirts because the handle's high up. And I have a lot of people that work in my shop. They're all different sizes. We got short guys, tall guys. So I like to make it to where everybody can access the heat presses. So that's why I use the adjustable ones. If it's just you working in there, you don't need the adjustable ones. Jabtown said, been following you for a minute, but ain't seen you live in a while. Haven't live or live streamed on TikTok. This is one of my first times, but I've been live streaming on YouTube. Um, it's kind of how I've been rolling. How do you like the Racoma? I love the Racoma, man. I'm mad that I got it a little late in the game, but I love that thing. I was just saying earlier, that machine runs every single day. We've never had to have Racoma come out to do anything to the machine. I've had it for 5 years. It runs every day and it does hats all day long. Um, to me, it's a workhorse. I know by now my machine's a little older. Like I said, 5 years old. They got the ones with the bigger screens and the nicer screens. I still got the old one. But yeah, I love that thing, man. Can't say anything like bad about it because it hasn't failed me. You know what I mean? It shit just works. Throw the design in there, load the hat up, stitch it up. I will say it took a little bit of a learning curve though to understand how sewing and embroidery works. But once you learn that part, man, you're good to go. What's the secret to no press marks on the hats when printing DTF transfers? Your pressure for one, and then making sure that it there's no bounce. So you have to make sure that the hat sits flush with the bottom platen, meaning it has to be tight. If there's a little gap like this, and you could feel like a little bounce when you're pushing on it, it's going to crease up. You want to make sure that hat is tight on the bottom, flush with the bottom. There's no gap in between. And then you adjust your pressure and you'll be good to go. Thanks. Just subscribe. Not a problem, man. What's a good basic print for tees and hoodies? Won't come off after a couple washes. I use Supercolor wearable transfers. These are screen printed transfers. To me, it's the most durable transfer on the market. The reason I say that, I've tested it and I've washed shirts and hoodies with the Supercolor transfer pressed on there more than 70 times with no issues. And it's machine wash, machine dry. The t-shirt is faded and the hoodie is faded beyond wearability, but the print still looks right. If you think I'm lying, I have those wash tests on my YouTube channel. I got it on my Instagram, on my TikTok. You can see me stretching the shit out. You could see everything of how these things look like when they come out of the washing machine for yourself. To me, it's hands down the most durable transfer. That's why I use them, because I would hate for a customer to hit me up and be like, "Hey," like 2 weeks after they buy the shirt and be like, "Yo, the print fell off." I don't want that. So I test out my transfers. I make sure that I'm applying it correctly and I'm making sure I know what the customer is going to receive. So then that way it gives me peace of mind. So I know whatever I sell to the customer's not going to come back saying, "Hey, this shit fucking broke or fell off or it's cracking," or any of that. I've never had that issue ever since I've been using them. Let me see. Provided a ton of game. I have my shop now for a year, following a lot of your advice. H. Ramirez, that's what I'm talking about, man. Appreciate that. Thank you. What shirts are best on Printful? I know nothing about Printful. Sorry, High Substance. I do everything myself. What hat heat press would you suggest for a beginner? I suggest the Heat Press Nation Signature Series cap press. Get the one that has the removable bottom platens. The reason I say get the ones with the removable bottom platens is because every hat is a different size. Most of the hat presses come with just one standard bottom platen, and not every hat will fit that. So having multiple bottom platens, big ones, small ones, medium sized ones, you could find the one that fits the hat perfect. So then that way you won't get any creasing, press marks, or anything like that. And that press, the Signature Series cap press from Heat Press Nation, comes with all those bottom platens. You don't got to buy them; they already come with it. I'm trying to scroll up on some of these TikTok questions. Love the channel. Appreciate that. Royal Designs. Mine comes with 3. Hell yeah. Let me see. DJI Osmo Combo 699. Great cam. Yeah, I use the Osmo. That thing is cool, man. If you get the combo pack, like what Michael's talking about. Comes with a microphone, tripod, extra battery. Shit's dope. Let me see. Mr. Slash, what's happening? Terrence Cruel, what's happening? Um, Teaching a class at 2 colleges as well as my academy classes, but Fashion Design Academy wants to meet you at some point. I'm always down with that, man. I'll hit you up offline about the upcoming market. Yes, please do. Please do, Mike. Thank you. You helped me a lot this evening. What about if a company wants to make t-shirts and hoodies for you? You send them your design. Yep. If they're going to be printing for you, you send them the design, they print it on there, and you're good to go. You have to pay for their services, though. You know what I mean? Simply the goat. I appreciate that. SRB, I think that's your name. Let me see. Do you use Shopify? Yes, I do use Shopify. That's how I run my online store, my retail store, my registers ran off of Shopify. When I'm vending out in public at events and festivals and night markets, I use Shopify also. Um, Everything's ran off of there. Also, love all your info. Been following you since before TikTok. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Tago vibes. Thank you, man. What app or web do you recommend for the best fonts? If you go on TikTok, click the link in my bio, the link tree. There's a custom fonts tab there. I don't know what the website's called anymore because they changed it. But I have a link that goes straight there. That's where I find all my fonts. So, like, if you've seen any of my t-shirt designs within the last 8 or 9 years, that's where most of the fonts came from. Postbed is collecting dust right now. I haven't had any work for it, but then I also haven't had any time to like mess with it because we've been running the embroidery machine like crazy lately. If you have the money, the Stalls 360 IQ hat press is one of the best. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, but like you said, if you have the money, to me, that if you're not doing a ton of hats to pay that press off, I don't think it's worth it for anybody to invest in those presses if they're just getting started. That's why I always tell people to buy within your budget. You can always upgrade your equipment later, but if you like try to break the bank right out the gate and you have no customers yet, or you're not even selling any products, what's the use of having the best equipment if you're not even going to get a chance to use it to sell products? So for me, it's always about buying within your budget, getting your feet wet, actually putting it to use, getting the customers, figuring out how to sell the products. And then that way, if you are doing that many hats and you wanted to upgrade for whatever reason, like I mainly use my hat press, my cap press to do neck labels. Like every now and then I'll do some truckers. Every now and then I'll do like some 5 panel campers or something like that, but mainly foam truckers. But it's not every day. But every day, or maybe every other day, I'm doing neck labels. So if I got the Stalls 360 cap press, which is way more expensive than the Heat Press Nation one, then I just have a very expensive neck label press. You know what I mean? So for me, it doesn't make sense to buy those types of machines, like the expensive ones, right out the gate when you're just getting started. I wouldn't recommend it to nobody because I don't want to put nobody in debt for one. And I'm more focused on actually helping people like sell the products and start moving products instead of just trying to sell them what I think the best is. You know what I mean? So if you looked at any of my presses in my shop, man, I'm still using my Heat Press Nation signature series press that I've been using before I got onto YouTube. That's still in my shop, still used till this day. It's not that Heat Press Nation is a stepping stone company. It's the products last and they work. And if you don't need to upgrade, then you don't need to spend the extra money. Keep that money in your pocket. You know what I mean? That's how I operate though. I don't expect everybody to operate their business that way, but as a content creator, I have a responsibility of giving people information, and then those people might take that information and say, all right, this guy said it, I'm going to go buy it. I understand that that's how this content creation stuff works. I would feel bad if I was peddling very expensive products to people that are just getting started. And majority of the people that watch my videos are just getting started. maybe haven't been in business that long, or they're thinking about getting into this business. So I would hate to like put somebody in debt when they're already in a tough situation. Like they're trying to start this business to make some extra money. They're not trying to start this business to go deeper in debt. So that's why I would never recommend those types of presses to anybody getting started. I'm not saying it's a bad press. I'm just saying it's not made for everybody. It's made for people that have been in business for a long time, that have the clientele to pay those types of machines off, if that makes any sense. Let me see. Addicted to the A's, what's happening? What's the best advice when doing your first pop up shop? Talk to your customers ahead of time. Make sure you could drive the traffic to the pop-up shop. Make sure you're offering the products that the people that you've been talking to before the pop-up are excited about. Make sure that's relatable to them to drive the traffic there. A lot of times what people do is they're so invested in just getting things ready, like printing the shirts, getting the inventory right, figuring out the booth build out, all that stuff, and they forget about the customer. Customer comes first. So you got to make sure you talk to the customers first, understand what they want, what to expect when they come to see you, because you're driving the traffic from your social media to your pop-up shop. If there's already going to be foot traffic there, cool, but don't just rely on that. You got to make sure you could drive your own following to wherever you're at. So then that way they shop with you. You know what I mean? Uh, when you were looking at Super, did you do the wash test for DTF2? Was there a noticeable difference between them? The big difference that I noticed is the feel of the print. But as far as washability, not too much. Like to me, anything over like 40 washes is cool. The Super DTF, the recent ones that I just tried out, probably it's had to been maybe 5, 6 months ago. Held up to over 50 washes, so there's nothing wrong with them. When taking payments on Shopify, what app do you use for secure payment from the customer? Shopify, everything is built in through Shopify. They collect the payments for you, they pay you out, you buy the shipping through Shopify, everything's done through them, and you don't need to bring anything else in there. That's how the Marrow machine was debating selling it. Yeah. And for the people asking about patches, that's what we're talking about. Marrow is the edges of the patches. Takes a special machine to do that. Customs knows all about that. Taking payments at events or pop-ups. Yeah, everything goes through Shopify. So they have a point of sale app where they process credit card transactions, everything. You get a little card reader, tap, chip, all that good stuff, and you can just knock it all down. Let me see. I have a Heat Press Nation hat press and have only used it for neck labels. Yeah, that's what I mainly use mine for. Um, so I would hate to like invest in like the Stalls 360, spend all that money, think I'm gonna be doing hats and I'm only gonna be doing neck labels. That's a very expensive neck label machine at that point. You've been saying this for the last 8 years. Hell yeah. On average, how long does a business license take to obtain? I live in LA. I want to start a Shopify. It doesn't take long at all, man. Um, the cheapest, easiest way to do it, you get a DBA or FBN. It's a fictitious business name, or DBA is doing business as. This is the cheapest, easiest way to register your business. You're registering your business name through the county of LA. If you're from Los Angeles, you go down to the courthouse or to where like you would get a marriage license. You stand in the line, and then you ask them to register for DBA. They hand you an application. You write down your name, what your business name is going to be, fill out the basic information on there. You pay like $35, give it to them. They take maybe a week to research the name, make sure it's not taken by anybody else. They'll send you an email saying, hey, this is approved. Boom, you get it published into a newspaper. If you ever looked at any circulating newspaper, in the very back of there's millions of DBAs, FBNs, LLCs of people starting businesses. This is public record saying, hey, you started this business on this day. Once you get that, you're good to go. go to your city, wherever you're operating out of. If you wanted to get a business license, you go to your city with your DBA and say, all right, check it out. This is who I am. Trying to get a business license to operate a business out of your city. You're good to go. I have videos on my YouTube channel that walk this whole process out. There's a playlist called Make Your Brand Legit. I think that's the name of the playlist. You go there, it'll walk you through the whole process of getting your tax ID number, how to get a wholesale license, all that good stuff. And it's for free. You like just watch the videos, follow the steps, go do it for yourself. You know what I mean? Let me see. I meant to add when taking payments. Oh, I think I already answered that one. So request, purchase, the Shopify tap, read ship, reader from Shopify. Yep. That's it. You could even get like a little register if you wanted it. They have a little docking station. They have all kind of stuff on Shopify, like to if you're vending out in public, you turn your iPad into a little register. That's kind of what I do when I'm out vending. Good to go. Let me see. Truly appreciate it. We'll look at the YouTube vids. Yeah, if you wanted to like legitimize your business, the cheapest, easiest way to do it is getting registering for a DBA. I walk you through the process on how to do it. If you didn't even want to do the application process yourself, like let's say you work full time already and you don't got time to go to the courthouse, you can use places like LegalZoom. If LegalZoom is still around, go to LegalZoom, look up, register for DBA. It might cost like $100 or something like that. Pay them, they process all the paperwork for you, do everything, mail you a little packet that'll say, here's your new business name, here's your what else they give you? Oh, they publish it in the newspaper for you. Everything comes up and you're ready to rock and roll. Um, have you ever been at a market without stock on a product? I'm DJing this upcoming market, so I can't man a booth. I'm hoping to be able to convert to online sales. Have you tried anything like that? Yeah. What I did was this was we had did some jerseys. This is a little while ago. We did some jerseys and then I only had a limited like size run of what I was offering. And then once all the extra large sold out, I was sending people to the online store. So all I was doing was I printed up little coupons, and it said like, use this coupon code so you could buy it online, and then they got like 10% off or something like that. But that's how I was converting the people that were coming up that their size wasn't there. I was converting them by giving them that little coupon and saying, you can buy it online. It'll be $10 or $10 off or 10% off or whatever it is. And that worked for myself. Let me see. I have an iPad, so would love to use to collect payment via Shopify too. Hell yeah. Um, they have point of sale app for Android and iPhone. I also seen people at one of the events that I was vending at. They were using they didn't even have like a tap read or anything like that. I want to say it was like they just scanned it with the camera or something like that. Got any good t-shirts lately? AS Color is probably the only blanks that I've been rocking with lately, man. Thank you for the love and inspiration. The homie King, been watching you for years now. You're a real one. I appreciate that. Thanks for like jumping on, watching this live. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I've been rocking with the AS Color Classic. That's what I'm wearing right now. Um, the block shirt, obviously, and the heavy fade shirts like doing good for me too. It's more of the color though. I don't think it's the fit of the shirt. Fits cool and it's soft and I like it, but I think a lot of people are attracted to the color more so than the fit of the shirt, I guess. What's t-shirt talk? We talk about t-shirts. I use the square and just tap with my phone. There you go. I used to use I had a PayPal card reader. This is back when phones had the little audio jack and you would plug it in there and just swipe cards. Let me see. I have a mint logo Supreme shirt. Hell yeah. I'm guessing mint logo Supreme shirt, like box logo, worth some money, man. I don't know if box logo is still worth money. I'm guessing they still are, right? What's the old one you used to use? PayPal, like the card reader. It was a PayPal card reader. Let me see. Trying to scroll up on the TikTok chat, try to answer some of those questions too. The PayPal swiper was trash. The PayPal swiper, I think you used to be able to get it off of you could buy it. You could go to like Best Buy and buy them back then too. That was back when you used to like plug it into the thing though. Rat Vent, what's happening, man? You can use QR codes to take payment. Yeah, I see a lot of people do the Venmo, Cash App style QR code thing too. All style and numbers, I forget, but the all style T-shirt. I used to use a 1701. Um, they discontinued the 1701 when All Style eventually sold to Gildan. Gildan converted the All Style T-shirts under the American Apparel label, and then they discontinued the 1701. So I stopped using them because I could no longer get them. But then that's why I started using the AS Color block shirt, because the block shirt has the same cut um, as the old 1701s, but just with a better cotton and a better collar, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, if All Style was still All Style, then man, I'd still be using them. But once they sold, it shit kind of sucked. TikTok on fire. Hell yeah. TikTok's booming, man. We about to go live on our website, but I gotta buy the thermal printer. Also, did you do the Clover payments from Shopify? Nah, I don't know what Clover payments are. When you're looking for a thermal printer, I use the Dymo one, and it feeds off of a roll. When you're printing a lot of labels, the labels start to curl up on each other because they're stuck on a roll. I hate that. Pet peeve of mine. So if you do get a thermal printer, try to get one that has the flat, where it takes the labels flat, where it's just like kind of accordion Z shaped, and they just feed through. Makes your life easier. And I think those printers are a little cheaper too. God loves you, brother. You inspired me to start my own in 2019. I can't thank you enough. Appreciate that. The homie King, man. I appreciate that. Willie Fades, thank you too, man. Appreciate y'all. Um, Black shirt is fire and great price point. Yeah, man. To find a blank t-shirt still in the $3 price range is crazy. But for the type of cotton that you get, the feel of that shirt is crazy also. I'm just scared that like action sportswear companies are gonna find that shirt, they're gonna start using it, and then stock's gonna go crazy, or they're gonna raise the price. But the AS Color block shirt right now, still in the $3 price range, and it's super soft with a dope ass cut. Can you help with prepping the design for transfers? I personally can't help you, but the one thing I will say, if you're doing DTF, just send it in the file format that they want. Usually it's like 300 DPI. Sometimes they ask for a PNG file. Sometimes they just ask for the Photoshop file. That'll be where it's at. But if you needed somebody to like gang your stuff up or actually get it ready for print, you would have to hire like a graphic designer if you didn't do it yourself. Let me see. Don't do it, no Clover. Yeah, I don't know what Clover is. Sorry. You'll get charged more for your sales. Oh, I see. Yeah, I want to say for like processing payments through Shopify, I want to say it's still like 3% or 3 cents or something with a three in it. It's my guess. I see what else we got here. I'm trying to scroll up on both here, trying to get all the questions answered. Appreciate you guys for jumping on tonight, though, man. I do this every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If I'm in town, um, I'm on live. I'm live streaming on YouTube. I've been doing it on YouTube, but then now I'm going to be doing it on TikTok at the same exact time too. So I think it's dope. Appreciate everybody for jumping on though. If you got questions, man, shoot them out. OG Power, what's happening, man? Let me see. Can you talk more about shipping? Shipping's easy through Shopify, man. An order comes in, bing, alerts you on your phone. From there, all you have to do is um, pick whatever you're using, like Polymailer, if you're using a box, all that stuff. You put that in, you put the weight in, buy shipping label through there. What it's going to do is pull up a bunch of different um, like FedEx, UPS, the post office, DHL, whoever you wanted to use. It'll have the price because it already has their address and it knows where it's going. It'll tell you how long it's getting there. You choose which one you want to pick, purchase the shipping label from there, print it out, slap it on the package. You're good to go. I weigh all my shirts. So this is how I set up my store is I weigh the shirt before I put it on the Shopify. So I know my shirt weighs, like, let's say it weighs 8 ounces or something like that. So when I put it into Shopify, I'll put down that it weighs 8 ounces. So then when the person buys it, it calculates the shipping, how much the box weighs, how much the t-shirt weighs, everything's there. So I don't have to like weigh shit all the time. Rooney Tunes, it's Ravent. What's happening? How's it going, man? Trying to do both, man. TikTok and on and YouTube, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I don't weigh everything every time order comes in. I usually put everything into Shopify so it does all the calculating for me. I just weigh my t-shirt, do it once, 8 ounces, boom. Weigh the poly mailer, 1 ounce, boom. Or not even an ounce. I forget how much poly mailer weighs. And then I'll weigh a box, boom. So everything's already in there. So then all you have to do is just like click through. All right, that person bought this t-shirt, 8 ounces. I'm gonna click, it's gonna get shipped through a poly mailer, boom. It calculates everything, does it for you so you don't have to weigh each package. So like let's say you sold 4 t-shirts, it'll calculate all 4 t-shirts if you put the weight in early. You know what I mean? Man, you do it all. Nah, man, I'm trying. This is my first time doing the TikTok thing, and I'm thinking about moving my phone down closer to the side here where the chat is, so then that way I'm only looking in one place. Right now, the phone is above the chat, so that's why I'm looking up, looking down, looking up. It's getting confusing. I do free shipping for people that order more than like $75 worth of stuff from me, and then free shipping. Boom, easy call. I feel like if somebody's going to spend $75 with you, you could cover the shipping for them, right? That's how I feel. Rollo thermal printer is a nice one. Yeah, Ravent. Um, the Rollo thermal printer, Rollo. I think that one's a flat one. So then that way you get the flat 4x6 labels, and then it just feeds through. It stays flat the whole time. G6 Custom said down. So if you're looking into getting a thermal printer, look into that one. It might be way cheaper than Dymo too. Yeah, if you weigh everything once before you upload it, so weigh the polo shirt, write that down. So then that way when you like, and I usually round up a little bit, you know what I mean? Oh damn, TikTok makes you like do a little puzzle to make sure you still live. Shit's cracking. Yeah, so take the polo shirt, weigh it out, write it down. I round it up a little bit. So then that way every size small to 3X or whatever I'm offering is covered within that in that weight. And then I just when I put the product photo up on your Shopify, it'll say what the weight is. You put the weight in there, and then it'll always calculate it for you. Put it for every single shirt that you're offering, weigh it once, put it into the thing, and you'll be good to go. Uh, yeah, it's my question. Hell yeah. Some point I set up the shipping for free for all orders and just noticed had like 10 orders with free shipping. Yeah, sometimes like I'll run those little promotions on a holiday weekend or something, and then orders come rolling in, man. I have the Rollo. It's amazing. You can request free labels from damn, and you could get free labels. So if you use the Rollo one, the homie Alvarado has the Rollo printer, and he said he gets free labels from UPS. So there you go, man. To me, that's even a bigger win to use the Rollo one. And I believe that's the flat one, right? It's like a little block, looks like a brick, and you send the fucking labels through. Always impressed with the videos. Glad to see your business striving. You keep it 100. Appreciate you, Roberto from VA. Oh, Virginia Beach. What's happening? Mind Fuel. Appreciate that. Thank you guys. I want to shout out the homies from Never Scared Lifestyle. They're the ones that kind of pumped me up and hyped me up to go live on TikTok. They've been doing it. So when I seen them do it, I was like, yo, maybe I should try to do some live streaming on TikTok. So they're the ones that did it. Literally at work listening to this live like it's a podcast. Hell yeah. Tegel, I appreciate that. That's how like I said, man, I watched the homies from Never Scared Lifestyle. Right now, they're like documenting their whole journey. They own this dope ass store in Northern California. Might be in Santa Cruz, might be in Salinas. I might be wrong about both of those locations, but they have a store in Northern California. They have a dope ass clothing brand, and they're going live on TikTok every day at 5 o'clock, I believe. And those dudes are dope. Nico's dope. Joe's dope. Those dudes kill the shit. They run their operation exactly like how I run my operation. Production in the back, retail in the front. Their retail store looks dope as hell. It's set up dope. They're there, I think, 7 days a week. But killing it, you know what I mean? And they live stream every day at 5 o'clock, sharing their journey, how they got started, what they're doing, how they're doing it, showing you the new drops, all that good stuff. So if you wanted to, I would say follow them, Never Scared Lifestyle on TikTok, and then keep up with their journey. I think it's dope. I'll mass share the live. I appreciate that, Mind Fuel. I appreciate that. How's your golf swing? Man, I messed up my ribs. I think I told y'all swinging. I had got rib fascia. I think that's what it's called. So I've been out for like 3 weeks, man. Been traveling. I was in Vegas. I was supposed to hit the range and hit the golf course with the homies out there. Couldn't because my ribs were all messed up. But I'm gonna try to get to the range tomorrow morning before the rain comes to LA. Hit a few balls and just to get out there and start swinging again. How do you deal with scam buyers? Shopify is pretty good about like pointing out if something looks a little suspicious. So for me, that's what I've been weighing heavily on is just Shopify kind of looking out for me. They do a pretty good job at it too. Let me see. I'm trying to go back and read some of these questions that I missed. And then same thing on here on TikTok. Appreciate Mind Fuel hooking it up, sharing the live stream. Do you reject the purchase? Yeah. If they say, hey, this looks a little suspicious, I reject the purchase. Must be from the huge bat. It was for me. I'll tell you like this. I was out there swinging. It was like anytime I go early in the morning, it's like some old Asians out there. They're the only ones out there like at 5:36 in the morning. And this little lady was knocking balls like crazy. So I was like, man, let me try to get in there. And I was swinging hard and I ended up just jacking my shit up. Do you recommend Shopify versus Etsy? Yes, I do. Shopify is your own platform. Etsy's a marketplace. Those are two different things, but I drive all of my traffic through social media like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, um, YouTube, everywhere. I'm driving the traffic to my own Shopify account from there. Etsy's dope because it's a marketplace and people go there searching for shit because they want to buy stuff. But they take like their fees are crazy. There's a lot of people stealing designs, stealing ideas on there. There's people that just look for the things that are trending, that are popular. And then what they end up doing is they try to start making their own version of that and then cutting the small creators out and stuff. So it's cutthroat in a sense. But I just like operating at my own speed. So that's why I use Shopify and drive all of my traffic through social media. So anytime somebody's buying from me, it's because they seen myself on a social media platform and then ended up buying the product through there or through seeing my stickers out in public and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's driven through social media. So I recommend Shopify over Etsy. The people that do use Etsy, it's a science to use it. I just don't know how to do it. But there, I have seen people be very successful on there, and then I've seen people leave Etsy and start their own Shopify's and do it that way too. So, you know, if you wanted to try it out, by all means, go for it. You know what I mean? See if it works for you. Um, because Shopify is always going to be there, so you could always bounce back that way. Do you continue to use vinyl for single color text prints? I use vinyl mainly to test out my own designs. So before I order transfers of a design I make, I cut it out on vinyl, just one for a t-shirt for myself. I wear it around and then I see what people think. Real life people, you know what I mean? I'll wear it out to a concert, to Disneyland, to amusement park, to a festival, somewhere where there's going to be a lot of foot traffic. So people could see it. And then when they see it, you can always tell if somebody's reading your shirt. If somebody bothers to say, "Hey, where'd you get that shirt from?" or they laugh at it or say, "Can I take a picture of that shirt?" Those are all good interactions about that design. Once I get those interactions, that's when I order transfers. And then, so that's what I use my vinyl cutter for. I mainly use it just to test out designs. What's the font style for your Los Angeles native print? I have so many, I got thousands of fonts on my computer. I don't know all the names of them. But if you click the bio, there's a link in my bio. There's a custom fonts link. That's where you can find fonts like mine. All right, let me see. I don't use any email marketing apps. I don't do that. Rarely use Pinterest too. I don't have a Pinterest. Is this taking the place of BSing with Brando? No, it's not. This is just I do this every Tuesday, just to try to answer some questions, man. BSing with Brando's coming back, and we got a new little background, and we got a new layout for what the show is going to be. Um, so it's coming back. G6 Custom says Santa Cruz. Yeah. So shout out to Never Scared Lifestyle from Santa Cruz. If you guys wanted to see a clothing brand and their flagship store go live and just basically really document the journey, check them out. I noticed the new trend is the bigger fonts that go across the back along the sleeves. Have you even tried pressing over the seams? I haven't. You're talking about like those Disney ones that go from like here all the way across the top of the back. I've never done it, but I've seen a lot of people use that technique, especially with the puff print. I see a lot of people use that. Amy Miller, what's happening? Been rocking with you since the Leftovers brand. Hell yeah. Anytime I bring up Leftovers, I'm like, man, I don't think that many people remember that because that was back in like 2016, 2017. Kind of old now, but that's how it is, man. I'm thinking about starting another brand just for YouTube to show that same journey all over again. You know what I mean? South Bay and LA stuff. Doing a ton of South Bay stuff, obviously, for the store. And then LA stuff, just in general, LA stuff, I'll have for the store also. So all of that stuff will be done we're opening the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So was that the 29th or the 30th or something like that? We'll be opening that day. Do you know much about cut and sew? I've done cut and sew in the past, but I haven't did it lately. And when I say in the past, I'm talking like 15 years ago. The last thing I did do cut and sew was I got some Letterman jackets done. Oh, I'm lying. I got some basketball jerseys done not too long ago. Those were embroidered, tackle twill. I did some applique jerseys. But yeah, before that was Letterman jackets. It's been a while though. Damn, I feel old now too. I remember Leftovers. Yeah, Leftovers was dope, man. The concept was cool. The idea for the content was cool. And that's mainly what I used it for. But somebody asked about like most of my designs are text heavy. And then wait. Damn, no lie. I thought you were Edwin San Juan. I don't know who Edwin San Juan is, man. But hopefully Edwin San Juan is cool as hell. You know what I mean? So I appreciate it. But yeah. So when I was doing we're talking about text designs versus images on designs, and images um is what leftovers was my leftover drawings. I put it on the t-shirts and then I sold it. Um, but now my audience, especially my audience at my retail store, it's a kind of an older crowd, and it's more community driven because the people that shop with me there are from that local community. So I do a lot of South Bay stuff, and they're not really big into the images. Like I did a design. You guys probably seen it. I wear the hoodie all the time. It's like a big ass sun, like a sun walking, and then it just says the South Bay is a sunny place with a few shady characters, and it has that like big ass sun on the back. That shirt did all right, not anything spectacular, but it just shows that the clientele that buy the shirts just want the shit to say South Bay and not have a fucking dancing sun on the back. Edwin San Juan is the Filipino comedian. Hell yeah! Shout out to Edwin San Juan, man. Hell yeah! Did you make the cut and sew yourself? Nah, I outsource that shit, man. I don't know how to cut. I don't know how to sew. Uh, so I outsource all that stuff. I love a mix of big text and images. Yeah, you know what I mean. That when people say like, "Hey, the to start a t-shirt business, it's oversaturated because there's already a ton of people selling t-shirts." There's so many people that like different t-shirts, different designs. Everybody has different taste and shit. So you can always create something for somebody out there. Like the shit's not oversaturated. It's not like there's not enough room to make money in this space because like this person, Kid Ronan, said they like big text and images. My clients and my customers at my retail store don't like images. So it's not like one's better than the other. Everybody has a personal preference. So if you're in this business to sell t-shirts, there's something for everybody. You're creating something for somebody totally different. We're not competition. We're not selling to the same people. Everybody has a certain interest in what they like and what they don't like. So, um, that's a perfect example when people say the game's saturated or blah blah blah. Hell no. You can always make something for somebody out there. But yeah, shout out to Edwin San Juan, man. That's dope. I got to check him out. And when I get off of here, I'm gonna look him up. Uh, Cut and sew can be expensive and requires a tech pack, which is full instructions on how to make the pieces. Tech packs is a whole nother animal when it comes to that. You're basically laying out the blueprint for what you want created. I got my first custom order, 20 shirts. Hell yeah. Yumi News, I think that's your name. Yumi News, get that money. If I want to add details like a flag on the arm of short sleeve DTF or iron on patch, I don't. Do you like the way patches feel on t-shirts? If you do, then put a patch. If you don't like the way patches feel on t-shirts, then use DTF. There's no rules in this shit. It's all personal preference. It's whatever you think looks dope. Don't ask me what I think looks dope because I'm not going to be your target audience. You're the one that's creating the shit, right? Don't look for outside opinions. It's cool to, ask people that, what they think about certain things. But at the end of the day, it comes down to you. Like if you wanted to put some shit on the arm, what do you like? Do you like the way patches look and feel on t-shirts, or do you like the way print looks on sleeves? And then on top of that, you got to do what's most cost effective for you, what fits your budget. If some shit don't fit your budget, if I said, hey, you should embroider every arm sleeve and that shit's gonna cost fucking X amount of dollars, why would you listen to me? I don't know what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to sleeve fits because I don't do sleeve fits. I don't offer it to my customers, you know what I mean? So for you, you always have to go with your own gut. Go with your own instinct. Go with what you feel looks dope. Because at the end of the day, if the shit works or it doesn't work, there's nobody to blame but yourself. And I'm not saying blame yourself, but I'm saying take accountability for the shit. And you could be like, all right, because if you went based on my recommendation and I said, hey, get the shit embroidered, don't use patches, don't use DTF, get the shit embroidered, you spent the money on it and then it flopped, you went based on me, like on what I thought looked cool. You know what I mean? I ain't no tastemaker. I don't know what looks cool. I make shit like every t-shirt that I make, hats, t-shirts, hoodies, I do it with the customer in mind. I'm not making it because I think the shit looks cool. I'm trying to make it look as cool as possible to me. But at the end of the day, it's made for the customer. I'm doing the shit for the customer and for the customer only because they're the ones buying it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not a trendsetter or tastemaker, or I'm not fucking high fashion, or I don't know what's cool and what's not cool. I wear blank t-shirts 90% of my life. Like this shit don't even got print on it. You know what I mean? Like, so if it was up to me, I'd be selling blank white t-shirts and blank black t-shirts. So I don't know what's cool and what's not cool. Majority of the people on YouTube don't know that shit either. So always go with your own gut, your instinct. Go with what you feel. This is your business. You know what I mean? Don't let outside opinions dictate what you do and what you don't do. You go based off of what you feel, what your guts feel to put something out. That way, when the shit's a winner, there's nobody to congratulate but yourself. That's your own hard work. That's your own intuition. That's you. You did it. That's your business, not mine. You know what I mean? I'm trying to start a Filipino inspired clothing brand, Gothic type text and Filipino subtle imagery. But it's hard to start off outright without time to run my art page and the clothing page. The way I do it, this is how you have to do it, I feel, is when you're doing something, you have to really put the full energy into the shit. So you would have to like stop doing one thing to start doing the other. You can do one in the background while you're doing something else, but if you're trying to run both at the same exact time, it gets hard because one's going to take priority over the other. It always happens that way. So make sure when you're doing that kind of stuff, if you're trying to run the clothing brand, your art page, and all this other stuff, give each thing its fair chance. You know what I mean? Put the energy into it. Make sure you give it a fair shot because you don't want to have to doubt yourself later and be like, oh, this flopped because I was doing too many other things. You want to be able to just be like, all right, I'm giving it my all. If it happens, it happens. That's how the shit works. You know what I mean? Um, what upgrades to Racoma accessories would you recommend? Thanks for kicking the knowledge. The Mighty Hoops, the magnetic ones, those ones are cool if you're doing flats. I still use the regular hat hoop that came with the machine. That's cool. But if you're doing flats, Mighty Hoop is the way to go. That's the magnetic ones. What shirt is that? This is an AS Color Classic t-shirt. AS Color Classic. Meet and greet in Long Beach in January. If you're going to Impressions Expo in Long Beach in January, I'll be there. We'll be doing a meet and greet. We'll be hanging out, drinking beers, chopping it up. We did it this past January. We're doing it again. So if you're going, highly recommend going to the Impressions Expo. It's free for one. It's a dope trade show to do all your research for your clothing brand, but then you get to meet people and talk to them and chop it up. You know what I mean? What's a big mistake you made when ordering press and transfers? I recently had to reorder a bunch of full color transfers because of a mistake that was my fault. Not going to let it slow me down. I've made a ton of mistakes, man. I've sent the wrong design. Like if I do a bunch of different revisions, sometimes I title them wrong and I sent the wrong revised vision to the transfer company, printed it. My mistake. I had to reprint them. Sometimes it's the coloring, sometimes it's the sizing. I've made a ton of mistakes, man. Shit sucks. Shout out to the homies from Never Scared Lifestyle too. Like I said, they're the ones that inspired me to go live on TikTok because they go live every day at 5 o'clock. So make sure you follow them, check out the journey, and really tap in with them, man. Shout out to the homie Nico. Shout out to Joe. Dope ass dudes right there. Sharing the journey for one, but two, really showing the inner workings of what it takes to actually run a successful clothing line and flagship store at the same exact time while you do everything yourself. They run their store just like mine. Production in the back, retail in the front. They're doing it on a whole nother level in Northern California. So shout out to Never Scared, man. The homies are doing the shit right. I want to get the HP and Cat Press during the Black Friday sale. Hell yeah, that's the best time to buy stuff. So whenever I tell everybody this, Black Friday comes around, Cyber Monday, all that stuff is when you want to do like these big purchases for like equipment and stuff like that because you'll catch a deal, be good for everybody. So pay attention. I'll try to post anytime I see stuff that's like a fucking good deal and what I think is a good deal. I'll post it on my Instagram for everybody. You know what I mean? Let me see. Have you ever tried Supercolor Metallic? I have. I've done it once or twice. I make a lot of t-shirts for like homies. I'm always at LAFC games. The soccer team, their colors are black and gold. So I've made a ton of gold shirts gold designs on black t-shirts. Pretty dope. Uh, I don't do it as much as I should, but the metallic is pretty dope. Um, I have access to get stickers done, but I also outsource them. There's people like G6 Customs who makes dope ass stickers. There's people like Boulevard Stickers who make dope ass stickers. I would check them out if you wanted to outsource them. Let me see. Try to go back up here. Appreciate you, bro. Likewise, appreciate that, brother. Like I said, man, never scared lifestyle inspired me to go live on TikTok. I personally wouldn't have ever went live on TikTok because I didn't know nothing about it until I seen them doing. I said, man, I got to try this shit out. E95 Romero, nice seeing you on here. I met you at AS Color Warehouse. Oh yeah, hell yeah! A while back, we should link soon for sure, man. Catch you at AS Color again. I'm telling you, I was just talking about that. I always run into people at the AS Color will call door. Like whenever you go, I posted a picture. Somebody took, I think it was Fight Night Customs, took a picture or a video of this little stop sign where you park to pick up your order. Provoke LA, myself. There's only a few stickers on there. Maybe a year ago. Now that whole stop sign is covered in stickers of all these different brands that go there. I think it's dope as hell. I always run into cool ass people at the AS Color Warehouse. Do I need a business license to sell online? No, you don't, man. You can sign up for a Shopify account right now and go for it. Drew Martinez, what's happening? Thanks for your advice. Appreciate it. Good luck to you all. Not a problem. Appreciate everybody for jumping on. We did like an hour and a half on here. I've been live streaming on both TikTok and YouTube. Thank you guys. I do this every single Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you wanted to rewatch this, anything we talked about, it'll be live on YouTube for you. So appreciate y'all. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Peace.